There's a CSIRO. That's where the current Prime Minister was hiding out to make child pornography of me to become the current Prime Minister, Scott Morrison.
So, mate, you know what? People are waking up.
Yeah.
You know, people are starting to look. You know, and I keep saying it, mate. We've got a Prime Minister who flew a pedophile halfway around the planet to sit down at dinner with the President of the United States. Now, let's just assume that all the people that called Trump a dickhead are correct. That dickhead told our fuckwit to take his mate and fuck off. Pardon the French.
Well, here I am at the White House. Never say never. A significant man like the President of the United States could give it all the prayer we could possibly give him.
Now, let's just assume that all the people that called Trump a dickhead are correct. That dickhead told our fuckwit to take his mate and fuck off. Okay? That's what you got governing you. That's what you got. If you're Australian, that's what you've got governing you. How many suppressions orders are there in the federal parliament in relation to pedophilia? Yeah, 39 or something?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We should include in the terms of reference the institution of the law. And I have documents here which the Royal Commission has seen. They are police documents, and they are very disturbing, which includes, disturbingly, documents that name in one document 28 people as alleged pedophiles. Includes a whole lot of prominent people. We have in Australia, sadly, a compromise at the highest of levels. There's a former Prime Minister on this list, and it is a police document.
Pardon me? How the fuck can you even get a suppression order on information relating to pedophilia in Parliament House? How do you do that? But anyway, and that's why, and I'm not a redneck, I'm not a tool, I'm nothing other than I am me. You don't come at me, I don't come at you. You know what I mean? I want to live peaceably. But I won't be ruled by a pedophile or his mates. You know?
Yeah, that's
I certainly
what I
won't be
tell
spoken
people
down to or locked up or locked down by them.
Yeah, that's what I tell people as well. And that's what you need to look at. That's what you've got running the country.
Yep.
You know, you got a massive group of pedophiles and criminal parasites. I mean, you know, look at the track record of these people. That's who's locking you down. That's who wants to give you this vaccine. You know. Yeah, and they're putting new laws in place in South Australia where now they're testing for COVID at schools. So they can test your child at school, and they can take your child from school, put it in a quarantine centre, and you don't get to see your child until they tell you can see your child again. This is in South Australia, which is the pedophile capital of the world.
My abuse included satanic ritual abuse as well, and it's, you know, I saw children buried at the Macklin Street property. Ruth and Andrew, my older siblings, who corroborate me, they saw the Beaumont children. Ruth saw the Beaumont children. There are 3 children who went missing from Vanilla Beach in 1966.
They're parasites. This is what they've turned into in this nation. They're all involved in child sex pedophilia. The network that operates the country, to the head of Australia, is a convicted paedophile. Scott Morrison is convicted. The police wrote the police report and allowed a court judge to become involved to have a subpoena. So back then in the 1980s, if someone flees and went on the run, as Scott Morrison did, and New South Wales police hit him immediately out of Victoria, those police are now in jail. Some of them are in jail in New South Wales, and they're registered child sex offenders now because they've gone to jail as child sex offenders. Those police were also at my house. They were part of Scott Morrison's gang.
My brother, as you would have seen in his testimony to the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, was used in child porn. I was as well. But
yeah, either way the time's come, you know. But you can't take my child from me, for example, because my child is my child, right? And you don't have the right to take my child unless you own my child, or you are exercising an ownership right over my child, which makes you a slaveholder at law. The penalty for that's 25 years. Okay, it's part of Australian law. So they need to be really fucking careful. The police officers going out and doing this and blindly following the bullshit that's being sprayed around need to be careful. because they're the ones that are doing the deed. You know, it's really, really, really ugly, because the time is coming when all this stuff is going to be laid bare, and all the people that have committed the senior serious crimes, you're going to be dragged before various jurisdictions across the country and made to answer for it. The time is coming. You know, the thing is that a body can only exist, and whether we're talking about a human body or a body politic or a population body, can only exist with an infection until the infection overcomes the body, in which case it dies. The only way to stop the body from dying is that we have to fight the infection and get rid of it. And the time's come for a big shot of penicillin. In my opinion, we need to clean this shit out.
Mike Baird. He became the New South Wales State Premier. So he used to traffic children right through the 1980s. He worked with Scott Morrison, trafficking children, the current Prime Minister of Australia, who is a convicted child sex offender. Now, I only say that Scott Morrison, the current Prime Minister, is convicted because my primary school took out what is known an arrest warrant for the offender when he had run. So Scott Morrison went on the run in the year 1989. And then he got his cop mates from New South Wales to come down and gangbang me in the state of Victoria. Fowler's father. So his father and mother turned up to my house to make child pornography of me when I was a child. They kidnapped my sister and organised with Scott Morrison to take my sister to Sydney for a massive child sex gangbang. That's what these police are. They're child gangbangers.